If you are an entrepreneurship educator, policymaker, or advocate, this 6-minute video describes the Gender Smart Entrepreneurship Education and Training Plus Action Strategy. You will learn why GEET Plus is important in supporting entrepreneurship education and how educators and others can use the framework and assessment tool to inform course design, delivery, and evaluation. You will also learn about a growing community of professionals who are working to strengthen inclusive entrepreneurship education and training.
We at GBSN are in the business of improving leadership, management, entrepreneurship education, not just making it more accessible, but we think it's important to get better at it. And getting better at it means making it more effective, not for just one group, but for all groups. And for us, this is especially important as we move forward to make sure that we're doing right by women, as well as men, as well as any other group moving forward.
So the gender gap in entrepreneurship is pervasive and has been exacerbated by the pandemic. The challenges for women entrepreneurship are many, ranging from lack of access to capital and business support to sociocultural contexts that reinforce ingrained gender norms and roles and limit women's potential. So entrepreneurial education and training and other forms of entrepreneurial support, such as accelerators, play a crucial role in the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
There is little research focusing on the content itself. And the content, we have seen that the studies somehow say that men show traditionally a higher entrepreneurial intention, and sometimes this is due because women, they need to they need external support, or the way that their entrepreneurial intentions are shaped is different from men. It does not mean that they are less capable or less. How are we, and question, how are we designing our courses? What are the pedagogies we're using that has these impacts in both men and women students? So it is important to take this into consideration when designing courses and training in order to achieve an increase in women's self-efficacy and encourage them to become entrepreneurs, or, as Helen said, encourage them to have this security in their own capabilities.
Women not only face lack of access to capital, but they face lack of access to capital and many other constraints that overlap and happen at the very same time. So these intersecting dimensions amplify the challenge. And this means that the expansion of entrepreneurial activity for women and the potential for success of support programs such as entrepreneurial education and training cannot be seen in isolation of the broader gender inequalities, including the responsibilities women have in the care economy. And this is critical when we look at the entrepreneurial education and training. We really need to understand and act upon structural impediments and biases.
So all those are barriers that we need to think about at the institutional level, at the individual level, and also even at the organizational level. For me, that would be my hypothesis, that if we have to make strides, we have to tackle all of this at the same time. Mm-hmm. What I was trying to come up to think about, you see, the 3-cycle model for family businesses. Maybe it is time we also think about the 3-cycle model for inclusive entrepreneurial education, so that we tackle the organizational, the institutional, and also at the individual level. Thank you.
The Gender Smart Entrepreneurship Education and Training, the GEET Plus framework, which you'll hear more about today, is a key tool to building entrepreneurial ecosystems to support women entrepreneurs.
The GEET Plus Action Strategy and the work of Telfer faculty, Dr. Barbara Orser and Dr. Catherine Elliott, is a perfect illustration of how Telfer teams are deploying evidence-based insight to create a greener, happier, healthier, and wealthier environment for all.
There's certainly the threat of amplifying well-established occupational stereotypes. The foundational principle of the work is equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that includes at every level of program design, delivery, evaluation, in recruitment, retention, impact, so that investment in entrepreneurship, education, and training is indeed inclusive. The why is obvious. The what is to translate evidence-based insights into some practical applications. And Helen talked about tell the story. And Dan talked about, circling around it. What we hope this report, framework, scorecard does is to aggregate many of the influences specific to entrepreneurship, education, and training from an adult learning perspective to address the stereotypes and biases inherent in content design, delivery, evaluation. And who is this initiative targeted at? Immediately, obviously, instructors and trainers, but also, as you can see through this call, policymakers, advocates, and funders as they design criteria to fund programs in entrepreneurship.
WAY is committed to catalyzing and advancing women's economic empowerment. WAY has decided, based on this project, using the work on the Gender Smart Entrepreneurship, Education and Training Plus strategy developed by Professor Orser, use that as a starting point to actually establish a community of practice around the issue of inclusive entrepreneurship and training. Our goal is to increase the inclusivity of the concept and delivery of EET to benefit learning and practice in order to increase the benefits of entrepreneurial activity for economic growth and sustainability.